Hello, SQL lovers. Welcome to today's section. So in this lesson, we will explore pattern matching and conditional statements in SQL. So these concepts are essential for filtering and analyzing data effectively, enabling you to retrieve precise information from large data sets. So the key topics we are going to be covering are pattern matching with like, and then checking values with in, and then conditions with between. Then we look at conditional logic with case. So this lesson is important, right? By the end of this lesson, you will be equipped with techniques to write advanced SQL queries and extract meaningful insights from your data. So let's dive right in. Okay, so the first one, the pattern matching with like and wildcards, all right? So let's start. We're going to work with our table, the account table. That's the table we normally use. So I'm changing to our database, all right? So let's see. Select. So we're trying to look at how we use like to filter to get our data, right? So this particular keyword is very, very important, especially when you are not sure of what you're looking for, right? So it is used to search for a specific pattern in a column, all right? That's for the like. So wildcards represent 0 or more characters. Y underscore? Like, we have percentage one, we have underscore. So the percentage represents 0 or more characters, while the underscore represents a single character, all right? So we'll start with the percentage on first. So we're going to use our table, the account table. Account table. So let's look at the table to see what we have in there. So in our table, look at what we're having. So, but for this lesson, this particular, the pattern matching, right? So we'll use the first name. So you can use it in any column, right? So we use the first name in this situation. So let's see how that works. So we are first name, like. So for instance, we want to look at names that starts with CH, for instance. So because we have this, right? So we use this to tell the system. So if you're putting this in the beginning, for instance, if I put this like this, so what this is telling the system, I want this character CH in between. So what it means is that something can come before it and something can come after it. That's what this putting this percentage sign like this means. So it means something can come before it or after it. So look at our result now. Okay, let's select the first name so that we'll be able to view it well. So let's just not select everything. Let's just select first name so that you see the view very well, okay? So let's do that again. All right, so look at the first name right now. So what we are getting now, we told the system we want any first name that is having CH. So you see, it doesn't matter where the CH is. What matters is that it's having it. See, CH in all this, whether in the beginning, at the end, at the middle, we just want it anywhere, right? So what it means, something can come before, something can come after. So, but when we put this, when we remove the first one, so it means we want what we are looking for to start with CH. So something can come after. That's what this one means now. Something can come after, but not before. So we just want CH in the beginning. So you see, so it's going to remove all those ones that are having in the middle or at the end. So it just give you the ones that are having CH in the beginning, right? So this the positioning of this percentage is very important because that's the only way system will be able to know what you want to get. So if you're putting it at the back, it means this come before, then this come after. If you put it in the front, so it means anything can come anything can come before ch, but you want ch to end it. That's what this is saying. So I don't think we'll have anything. See, we don't have any result because we don't have any name that ends with ch. So, but if you want to also check, if you put I, because we have something that ends with chi, so this will give us result. You see? So we have something that ends with chi. So even if you chi, even if you remove h, it will still give you hi. So what it's telling you is that the positioning of this percentage matters a lot. So it depends on what you're looking for. If you're not sure what you're looking for, so but you know that it contains some alphabet that you know, or so once you remember anything, that's when this will come into play, right? So then that's for the like. So we have the wildcard that is using single character. So if I want to use the wildcard, that's the underscore, and then I do like this underscore. So it's just one character that is missing. What it means, because this underscore, this one underscore is just single character. That's what it means. I want anything. So let's look at the column again so that we know the exact one we replicate. So okay, we have JOHN. So if I now say I want something that looks like this, but I don't know what started. So this single underscore is now telling the system something should be in front. You see, it's giving us all the John we're having. So you can also put underscore twice, right? So we might have to look for another name to demonstrate this. So you can also put it in the end. So you can put it just like the percentage sign. So you can put it anywhere you want. So for instance, this Emily now, we can say we want something that starts with EM, but we don't know what's end it, like this. All right, so we can also do like this. System will extract because, okay, it's not giving us because we don't have anything that ends with only two underscores, right? So we have three. All right, so this underscore is single character. One is single character. Then if what you're looking for is three, then you have to make sure the underscore is in three places because this is three now. That's why we're able to extract this. All right. So, but most at times I actually don't use this because it's doing the same work with the percentage sign. And this one is much simpler because once you impute this, it's going to give you, without you specifying much things, once you put, for instance, I want EM, anything EM, which will still give me all this instead of specifying because that's single, see, everything has EM, but that single character, the underscore, you have to specify how many letters with the underscore, what you're if you're not sure. So this percentage sign will come in handy in that situation, right? So we've already covered the light and the white cards, right? So we're going to look at in. We've touched the in before, so we were also going to look at it again. All right. So in this situation, we use in to check if a value exists in a list of specified values. So I want to check if I have anybody named Chioma in my as a customer, all right, in my organization. So what you can do is just to use this in. So, but you can just also say where first name is equal to Chioma. So, but this in comes in handy when what you want to check for is many, right? So I can easily do, I want to check if there's anybody that is having Chioma as the first name. I can easily do this, right? You can also use in to do this. So we don't have anybody like that. So let's check John. John. That's the one we're sure that it exists. So we check. You see, we have 6 customers named John. All right. So, but if what we want to check for is much, so somebody gave you a list and say, I want to check if all these people, or give you account numbers and say, I want to check if all these accounts exist, right? So that's where this and comes in handy. You'll be able to extract information using the in. You're checking for in. So let's check for different names and see the ones we can get. All right. So the equal to is when I'm checking for just one, but because I have list, I'm checking. So I won't use that again, okay? So where first name in, John, Emily, Emeka, Jane, Jane. Okay. So you can impute as many, sorry, you can impute as many values as you want. All right. So let's remove this so that we can see, because if you're looking for details regarding these customers, you want to check for. So you list it like this. So look at this. So what the system is giving us now are all the customers that their first name are John, Emily, Emeka, and Jane. See, that's the only thing you can see. And we're having like how many? Oh, really? We have like 22 rows. So what it means is that we have many customers that their surname, that their first name starts with John, Emily, Emeka, and Jane. All right. So this actually come in hand. Even if you copy the, you can do it in any column, just like I said before. If you have a list and you're checking, all you have to do is just to use the in to check if specific, to check if specific value exists, right? So that's what the, so you can do it with any value. So it mustn't be the first name. You can do it with this column, account number. It's just the same process, all right? So if you do this, the system is going to also give us the accounts, just like we did with the first name. So it's still the same. You will use the you use comma to separate them. All right. So it's still the same. You can do it because this one at times is the one you will likely be searching with, not the first name. So you can actually, so maybe we have an email address and we say, I want to know if this, who this email address belongs to. All right. So you can also search with any value. Okay. So we're trying to also work with this. Let's see. So you can work with anything. So this is it. Just like this is going to give us any customer that this account belong to. Where first name in? No, let's see. Oh, sorry. So remember the column you're checking with, you have to specify. You see, I'm checking for accounts and I'm searching under first name. So it won't give me any value. So it's under account number that I'm supposed to check. So these are things you have to be mindful of. If not, you would think that they don't exist. Meanwhile, they're actually there, you see. So we have many customers with this account. All right. Emily, see Emily's own, see Jane, see John, see Emeka. So it's giving us customers that has this account. See Emily Davis. So you see, so this in comes in very handy. It's very, very good when you are checking to see if a value exists. All right. And this will also help you to easily look up values. Okay. So that's for in. Then we're going to look at the between. Okay. So we're going to look at the between. So we've actually also touched this before also. So we just use between to filter data within a range, right? So if we are to use between, what we normally do with it, especially um when we're using dates, right? Or numbers, because you can say between 1 and 2, between 5 and 10. All right. So it depends on the instance. So right now we're going to use it in a date column. We also use it in a numeric column. Okay. So let's see. Select start from accounts where. So now we're going to check so that we'll see the dates we want. Okay, so we can use the date of birth, we can use the date open, so depending on what you want. So if we want to see customers that their date of birth is between specific period to this, we can do that. If you want to see customers that opened the account in year 2020, you can also do that. So depends. All right, so let me date open, let's do dates. The date account was open, date opened. So we want to know all the customers that open the account between between. So remember for the date also you are to enclose it in a quote, all right? So let's say 2024. No, sorry, want to know customers that open the accounts between January 2020 to December 2020, all right? So between is just to specify a range. 1st January and 2020 1 to 31st. So we just want to see number of customers or customers, because if we want to see the number, we can use count. But if you want to see the everything, that's when you use the star, right? So notice that we have 84 customers. So it means that from January 1st, 2020 to December 31st, 2020, we opened to 84 accounts. All right. So if you also want to count it, we've already covered count. All right. So you just count row also. So the filter already tell the system, this is what I want. You see 84. All right. So that's as simple as that. So we use between to check. All right. We use between to filter our data, right, within a range. So let's use, because you can use it on any, it's not only date column. So let's check um balance. So balance, because okay, let's see between, can we check balance? No, within a range. No. So if you want to check for balance, no. So actually the between is for date range. So if you want to check for balance, all right, so you can, let's check balance. Balance can do, okay, let's check that between 5,000 and 10,000. Okay, so you can also check balance with it. So it's now counting our customers, that there are 42 customers that their balance is between 5,000 and 10,000. So let's see those customers. Say it's 40, there are 42 in numbers. So let's see the customers that their balance is between this and this. So let's look at the balance column. So between 5,000 and 10,000. So it's going to give you all the customers that their balance is between 5,000 to 10,000. So what this means is that you can use it to check for range, right? So that's for between. So let's quickly look at the case statement, all right? So we use a case statement to add conditional logic in queries to create new fields or modify results. All right, so we use this to create new columns or modify results. So this is just like like existing existing column you have already. You're going to use it to create an extra one. All right. So let's see how that works. So if we want to write a case when, so the case when you can see write it in a where clause. You can also write it, use it in a select statement. Okay. So let's select account number, first name, last name, balance. So let's write our case statement now. So it's just like a conditional logic. If this happen, okay, if this is this, let this happen. If this is this, do this. Okay, so it's a condition, right? If Obi is a boy, then Obi will become a man, right? In the future. So it's just like telling the system, if this happen, please let this result happen. So we can use this case statement, even we can use it also to aggregate our data. All right. So, but for now, let's just look at it, okay, as the basic part of it. So let's say case when. So another thing, because this case is creating another column, it's an additional column. So you can write as many when as you want, but once this case statement, when you end it and start another one, and start it with a case, so it means it's another column you're bringing in. Okay, so let's look at that first. Case when balance is greater than, okay, let's do less than first, is less than or equal to 0, because we have some customers that have negative balance, right? Is it less than or equals to 0? Then we want you to say insufficient balance. Let's just use insufficient. All right. So if you want to write another one, it's still on the same case when, right? It's still on the same column. When balance is greater than, is between, let's do between 5,000 and 10,000. Then say funded. Okay. Else, we are ending our statement. Else, say, say, um, huge fund, huge fund, end. So this is case when. I've already written that. So you start with case, then when you give your condition. When the balance is less than or equal to 0, then insufficient. But when the balance is between 5,000 and 10,000, then funded. Else. So if the balance did not fall in any of this condition, okay, between 5,000 less than. So no, we'll do greater than 0 so that it will accommodate those ones between 0 and 10,000. So because if we're doing less here, then the other ones will now fall under huge. So you make sure that all your conditions are met. If not, let it be huge. And so, and we're not going to give up because I said earlier that case when it's like creating an additional column. So what do we want to call this this our column now? Let's call it mm, balance status. Let's call it balance status, okay? Okay, we should see. So this is, we've already written a case statement and we've already created an additional column telling the system what we want it to do. All right. So you see, we said when it's greater than 0, when it's between, is greater than 0. And let's see the statement again. I forgot what I wrote. Let's see. Okay, less than 0, insufficient. Greater than or equal to 0, insufficient. Between 0 and 10. Okay, so anything greater than 0, any figure that is between this and this is funded, else unfunded. Okay, so that's what we told. You see, huge fund, funded. You see, anything that is between 0 and 10,000 is funded. Anyone that is more than 10,000 is huge fund. So you see, this is how case statement works. Let's look for insufficient. You see, this is negative balance. It's insufficient because we said less than or equal to 0. We see 0 balance is sufficient. All the negative and anything less than 0 is insufficient fund. All right. So if you want to create another column, you have to write another case when statement. That is, you are creating another column. That's what it means. So let's add another column. So you always have to end the first one, then you begin another one. So let's say case when um date of birth. So let's use date of birth. Case when dates dates of birth between, okay, let's do, anyway, we're not sure of when the date started. We'll just do it. Let's see. When date of birth, which year between? Okay, let's do less than. Less than. We might have to look at the date of birth so that it will enable us to know this conditions we are creating. Okay, so let's look at it because you need to look at your data to enable you know the information you're trying to get from the data. Okay, so let's see this date of birth. So we have customers born in 1985, 1995. Okay, let me just use the dates open. That will enable me to understand. Okay, 1991. Let's just do it like that. We have 1988. So let's just create just two conditional statements. So let's say anybody that is between 1988 and 1988, 88, 01, 01. And let me copy this. And 1980, let's see, 1995. So, because we don't know, okay, 1995, okay. So I think of a way now. We need to know the beginning and the end. This will enable us to get this our case when perfectly, all right? So we will use the max function. You remember that? So this will come in handy to know the maximum date of birth and the minimum, right? The latest and earliest. So birth. So let's use that, because if I guess, I will miss out some points. And if you miss out some points, that will make your data incorrect. And then I don't want us to do that. So let's just get it right. Date of birth. Then as max date. Then let's do mean date of birth as mean date. Okay. This is actually the best way to handle this. Okay, so look at this now. So we are seeing that, okay, so the oldest person is 1975, then the youngest person is 1999. So this will enable us to make our decision, okay? So we'll now use this to write our case when. So you see, all this we learn stage by stage is for situation like this. So we've already covered the max, dates, and mean, how to use mean and max. So this came in handy here. So anybody that is born between 1975 to, let's do 1988. Okay, that's good. 1988. 1 to 31st. Then the person is old. Okay. Then old. So because we just want to give this, we only want this condition, just young and old. So if the person is not old, then else. So it depends on how many. So if you want to split this date of birth, you can split it even up to 5, provided you know what you want. All right. So we just split it into old. You can also do middle age if you want. So, but what I want, if you're born between 1975 to 1988, you are old. If you're not born between that period, so you are younger, it means you're young. That's what else. That's so I'm closing it now as young. Young. So we end our case statement, end it as a age, age bracket. So if you also want to get the middle age, you just have to either do another case when it starts from here to here. But to just save our time, let's just have these two, okay? So bravo. You see, so let's bring in the date of birth also. Let's bring in the date of birth. Date of birth. Date of birth, comma. You have to put that. So let's check that again. Okay. So look at this. 1975 to 90. So anything that is having 1975 to 1988, that is old. You'll be seeing old. But every other person below that, below 1988, is young. You see? So this is how to use case when. So look at our data, young. We're able to create balance status. We're able to create age bracket. So there are many things you can do with case when statement. There are a lot of things you can do with it. It's just giving your data more meaningful insight, right? So because someone will not just start looking at the data and start looking at the date of birth, the person might not understand. But with this now, you already know we have young, we have old. So if you copy this and put in Excel now, with just one click, you'll be able to know the young customers and the old. You can also filter from here. If you want to filter for old customers, if you want to filter for young customers, all right? So that is for case when statement, all right? So when we start practicing, like doing projects on all we have done so far, then you will see also how to make good use of this case when statement. This is just the basic for you to understand how this works, all right? It's just for you to know how to use the case when statement. So when you are starting with case, it means you're bringing in a new column. So when you end it, you would only have one column. So then when you start with another case, so all these ones that are when, so if I want, I can still add another when. I can still add another when. Okay, you can see, like, you can add as many when as you want until you end it. That's when system will know, oh, this statement has already ended. So you use end to end it. So then you use then to tell the system, if this condition is met, then let it be funded. If this is met, let it be this. But if it did not meet any of this condition, else, that's the else, let this happen. Then you end it with your column name. So you see, the case when statement is actually very interesting. The most important thing is for you to understand how it works. All right. So that is it for us today. So we've come to the end of today's lesson on pattern matching and conditions in SQL. Okay, so let's recap the key takeaways. So we covered the like and wildcards. You can now search for patterns in your data with percentage and underscore for flexible filtering, right? So we also look at in. So the in simplifies checking for values within a list, making your queries more readable. So we also look at between. So between helps you efficiently filter data within specific ranges. So we also look at the case, all right? So the case introduces conditional logic, enabling you to transform and analyze data dynamically. So these techniques are essential for solving real-world data problems from customer segmentation to financial reporting. Okay, so remember, the key to mastering SQL is practice and exploration. Don't hesitate to revisit these concepts and experiment with different databases to solidify your understanding. All right, thank you for watching and do enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.